beloveds. This is Lori Ann Spagna from LoriSpagna.com. Here today to chat with you briefly about the upcoming solar eclipse and lunar eclipse happening this month, Tuesday, October 25th at 4 a.m. Pacific time in the United States, 7 a.m. Eastern time in the United States is the Tuesday, October 25th partial solar eclipse, followed by its partner eclipse, the lunar eclipse, which will be happening on Tuesday, November 8th at 3 a.m. Pacific time, which is 6 a.m. Eastern time in the United States. Now, wherever you are in the world, it will be a different time located unique to your location, but this particular eclipse window, as all eclipse windows are, is very, very significant as it relates to humanity's evolution and to the evolution of our consciousness. And so that's what I'm going to chat with you about today briefly to help you as you're going through your ascension journey, as you're going through your awakening journey, and as you're up-leveling your core vibration and frequency, and of course, as humanity is awakening. So I believe that what I'm about to share with you will be very helpful to you, so I hope you'll stick with me. And it's a little bit complicated, but also incredibly simple. So Tuesday, October 25th, is our partial lunar eclipse in the sign of Scorpio for Western astrology, Libra for Vedic astrology. They're slightly different in the way they read the planet positions in the skies. And of course, the completion eclipse of this cycle, Tuesday, November 8th at 3 a.m. Pacific time, that's a full lunar eclipse. So that lunar eclipse will take place in the sign of Taurus or Aries, depending on the Western or the Vedic astrology. What's more significant is, first let's understand that all eclipse cycles are windows of time. They can be measured in linear time as a window of time, but they also are measured in terms of units of energy or vibrations of energy and consciousness, windows that complete and windows that open, or doorways that complete and doorways that open. This particular cycle of eclipse, Tuesday, October 25th to Tuesday, November 8th, this window is a completion of twos, which interestingly, they are both on Tuesdays in the year 2022. So keeping in mind how significant the twos of 2022 are, the overall completion of this eclipse is the completion of the 2022 calendar year, where the theme energetically could be translated as twos and 6, 2, 0, 2, 2, 6. It's a completion of the energies that peaked during the June 6, 2022, when we did DNA activations, right? 2022, June 6, that was the triple Stargate portal of this calendar year. So this particular eclipse window, October 25th, Tuesday, November 8th, is a completion of the 2022 energies. And understand, of course, that it weans off. It's not actually a one-day wean off. It's a window within the window. So it will continue to wean off through the end of this calendar year and even into next year when the next cycle of eclipses begins. So in 2023. And so this window between Tuesday, October 25th and Tuesday, November 8th, as it's a completion, a weaning off of the completion of the 2022 energies that reached their peak on the June 6th portal, Stargate portal. It's also simultaneously opening for the next window that begins in 2023. We're not going to talk about so much the 2023 yet. We want to focus more on this particular window. But I'm setting you up to understand how significant this is and what the translation is and what it means. So let's go back to Tuesdays and twos. Tuesday, October 25th, as we can see, Tuesday is a 2, and what we're talking about in 2022 is all 2s that are 6 energy. 2022 is 6. 6 is the sacred heart center. 6 is love. 6 is compassion. 2 is duality, separation, the light and the dark, the shadow and the light, the contrast, the experience of separation and duality. I am me, you are you, we are disconnected. That is 2. 6 is that through the Sacred Heart Center, we unify. We come into unity, harmony with all that is, with all that we perceive to be separate from us, including that which we perceive to be shadow, that we may judge or condemn, criticize, or see as a shadow or dark side, that we may see or perceive as evil, that we may see or perceive as negative. These are just examples of what the 6 energy teaches us, which we have been in for this entire year. Through coming into and through the Sacred Heart Center, we unify with the experience of duality. 2, separation, dark and light, good and bad, right and wrong. Doesn't mean these things go away. It means that we see, perceive, if we're doing our inner work, if we're energetically vibrating differently, in more harmony with the divine and the divinity that is within us. As we do so, we come into more harmony and unity with all of these so-called shadow aspects, this duality. And we are no longer in the density of duality. We experience the unity and the oneness in all of it, even that which we may see or perceive as evil, as negative, as shadow. Even we may judge or condemn or see the wrongness. The former version of us, pre-eclipse, may have, certainly pre-2022, may have condemned or criticized or judged various aspects of the dualistic experience known as 2, whether it was whatever we perceived ourselves to be in separation from. Now, through the energies of the eclipse window, which have been going on for an entire year, you see, and which are escalating and culminating in this eclipse window at the end of this calendar year, whatever we perceived ourselves to be in duality with regard to, we are now meant to come into harmony with, if we are doing our inner work. And as we come into harmony with these aspects of self, as we unify vibrationally, we no longer experience the duality in the same way. We have more harmony, unity, love, compassion, understanding, and forgiveness, because that is the energy of 6. That is what the 2020 calendar year of 2022, the window from 2020 to 2022, all cycles within cycles, you see, were meant to bring about for us, in us, and through us. And of course, it requires us to do the inner work. So if all of this sounds foreign to you, don't worry. Allow yourself to just to be with it. And if it makes sense to you, brilliant, beautiful. That means you're doing your inner work. The way we do the inner work, this is going to bring another aspect of this to it, is through energetic healing, transformation, DNA activations, downloads, etc. Healing transmissions, energetic healing transmissions that come from the so-called higher realms, where all of this that I'm explaining here makes total sense. And not only does it make complete sense, it becomes the higher truth of your experience, right? Because it's part of your knowing. You become vibrationally aligned with this. So how do we do that? All of that is, these are the days of mastery. So the last real powerful mastery day was June 6th, the triple portal day of this year. 6/6/2022 is 6, right? So we could say 666, where we were really being peaked into that triple portal day to awaken more of our sacred heart center of love, to unify. That's where the energies really peaked. Now they're beginning to culminate. For those who have received these lessons, these gifts of consciousness, these new vibrations, these new energies. And of course, it's a window of this particular eclipse between Tuesday, October 25th and Tuesday, November 8th. And it will continue to culminate into the balance of this calendar year. And there will be minor peaks, but still very significant. 11/11 will be the next very significant peaking moment to receive these kinds of gifts, blessings, healings, and energies, as well as to up-level more fully, wholly, and completely into them on the 11/11 portal, and then followed by the 12/12 portal of this year. These are all dates, portals, and windows within windows of time that are really all about energetic states of consciousness, vibrations, and unification with our own divinity and with the divinity that is within us. So the way we harness this partial solar eclipse and the following lunar eclipse in this window of time, where these eclipse cycles are really going to amplify this energy and amplify this opportunity to really come into this kind of culmination, this new frequencies, to really awaken more of our Christ consciousness, our crystalline frequencies, energies, and vibration that is dormant, waiting for us in our DNA, and that is now available to us for those of us who take advantage of it, who say yes to it, through our intention, our desire, our willingness, and our demonstration through our thinking patterns, the way we change our thinking, our beliefs, the way we change with our expressions of words, of energy, of emotion, of feeling, and of course through our changes in behaviors, our right action, and the change in what we choose, we shift and change and up-level our personal experience and the experience for the collective, because the collective awakening is on. It is happening. These peak windows, these cycles upon cycles upon cycles are so significant and important. And of course, the peak days, once again, I want to say, within this eclipse window are going to be and it might not seem like it's in the eclipse, because the next eclipse energies of culmination within this window between October 25th and November 8th are also weaning off, still incredibly intense, on the two mastery portals of the year, the 11/11 and the 12/12. So I hope this is all making sense. The idea is we are meant to receive the ultimate gifts of 2022. 2022 is about mastery, which is the 11/11 and 22 energies stepping into mastery with regard to the Sacred Heart Center, 6, with regard to unification with all that is, 2. Becoming one with all that is. And doing it through the mastery. Understand, October is the month of 1. November is the month of 2, 11. Mastery. 11 is a master number. So we have all of this culminating. And it sounds like a lot of repetition, but that's because it is. It's a unifying of all that is. It's where we come into unity and harmony, divine unity, divine harmony with all that is. And we come into experiencing on a personal level so much inner peace and inner harmony that our external reality reflects this back to us more and more and more in all of our experiences as we transmute our own shadow aspects, which is to say everything that we have perceived through our limited states of consciousness as perhaps dark or negative or shadowy or unpleasurable or disharmonious or wrong or even evil or bad. Those are the things and the experiences that we get to transmute now as we come into more unification with our source. And we aspect that source. We come into alignment with that source through our sacred heart center, which equates to the number 6. And again, that is the year 2022. So I hope I'm translating all of this into words, what this really means. Now, if we look at the astrology, Scorpio, the scorpionic eclipse, or if you look at it from a Libra, Scorpio asks us to look at our shadow aspects that we are unconscious of, or that may be stinging or biting us or poisoning us, right? That is the energy of Scorpio. That may be painful to us, shadowy, and transmute it into the balance and harmony. That is Libra, the balance and harmony within, through our ability, which is mastery, to do so. The mastery, which is 11. First, we learn about it through our left brain, which you're doing right now. 1 is the left brain, October. November is mastery 11. The window allows us to complete this through the mastery of learning how to use our sacred hearts 6, our connection with love, peace, harmony, understanding, compassion, forgiveness, which is within us. That is the 6 of the calendar year 2022. So this particular partial solar eclipse, Tuesday, October 25th, which is a scorpionic eclipse, that is what it is asking us to do. It's scorpionic, but it's also Libra, depending on which astrology you read. They're all saying the same thing through a different lens, a different perspective, a different angle. And I'm just doing my best to translate it for you through all these various lenses, whether it's numerology, whether it's astrology, it doesn't matter. Saying the same thing through different lenses. And for those of us who are actively engaging and actively participating in this knowledge, this wisdom, this energy, this consciousness is available to us. This and even better, even greater. And it's up to us to choose it because the will, free will, still reigns supreme. And I want to offer that to you here now, that it is entirely up to you. So to people who aren't choosing it, they may have no idea about what I'm saying. It may make no sense to them. It may sound too confusing. That's okay, right? It's a little still too hard to understand. For those of us choosing it, it's making sense. It makes sense. And even if it doesn't make sense wholly and completely, it begins to make more and more sense as we become more and more vibrationally harmonious with this information, with this energy. So a few more words about this. And of course, we'll be working with this. See, all of this is stored in our DNA, waiting for us to access it, waiting for us to to unlock this knowledge, information, energy, and consciousness. It's all stored in our DNA. It's also stored up for us, of course, in our own Akashic records. So, you understand that that's what's most important in a sense for you to access, because I'm just translating it now because I've unlocked it in my own knowing through my DNA, through facilitating DNA activations for others, and through my understanding of astrology, my interpretation of it, and my translation of it, and of course because I work with my own and others in the Akashic records. So you have this within you too as you begin to activate more and more of your knowing. So of course our next DNA activation, I'm going to talk more about the particulars of the astrology in a moment and more of the translation of it, but we'll be doing our next DNA activation on the next 1111 portal, which is 1111 is the mastery number, right? So important because 1111 and 11 and 22 are the most significant mastery numbers in all of numerology. Yes, 33, 44, 55 are also significant, but in numerology, they start to kind of wean off in their potency, in a sense, because in numerology, after that, we start to just take a 33 as a 6, a 44 is an 8, a 55 is a 10, and it just sort of folds into the other numerological, single numbers, right? Whereas 11 and 22 are your powerful mastery numbers that really are not meant to be reduced in a sense. They encapsulate all of the other energies. So an 1111, which is on November 11th, and a 1212, that's also very significant, are still very powerful, potent energies of the calendar year of 2022, all master numbers asking us to step into our mastery, where we find this, we discover this, all of this I'm talking about, within ourselves, within the energy of ourselves, within the consciousness within ourselves, which is accessed through our DNA and awakened from within us in our own dormant DNA. And of course, as I mentioned also, it exists within our records that we can access as well. So our next DNA activations where we do this is on the 1111 portal, the Mastery portal, November 11th. And of course, you can register at LoriSpagna.com under the Live Events tab. You will see the link for our Speed Activations webinar, Dormant DNA Activations, where we awaken this kind of information and all the gifts of consciousness in our DNA related to this, where we become vibrationally harmonious with this kind of information and energy, and where we anchor it in more wholly and completely into our physical forms, so those around us, so our lives improve, we improve the quality of our lives, and so do those we love around us. It benefits them as well. It is all like a domino effect and a process of osmosis in a sense, because we're holding these keys and codes within our DNA, our star code markings. We activate them. The luminous light that we are naturally becomes more radiant in and through us, in those around us who we love, organically benefit as if through osmosis, right? Ultimately, it becomes part of the 100th monkey. So, of course, I want you to participate in the dormant DNA activations that we'll be doing on the next 1111 Master Stargate Portal, Tuesday, November 11th. It will be live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And obviously, depending on where you are in the world, you'll have to change your local time. But you get the recording for that, and the energy of Source is never limited to time or space. It is omnidimensional, omnidirectional. The consciousness of all that is the energy consciousness that does the activation. So you get the recording. You don't have to be there live. If you can't be there live, you still can get the energy and the activations of your DNA that unlocks all of this. And we pick that so important, really is a triple. November 11th is a triple master portal. You understand? 11, 11, 22. All adding up, in a sense, to the frequencies and vibrations of mastery. We're awakening our divine mastery through this eclipse window. I hope this is all making sense, because I know it starts to sound like you're talking in circles or I'm talking in circles, but it's because it's all bringing us into unified connection with all that is. That is the most important thing to understand. And so as we activate this from our dormant DNA, it really starts to make so much more sense. It's just all about unification. By the way, on the day that I'm recording this, it is Saturday, October 22nd. Needless to say, this is also an incredibly important, significant master number, 22 in the year 2022. So important about bringing us all into unification with the duality of our experience and the unification with all that is. So again, a couple new additional pieces of information about this particular eclipse window. The Sun and Venus are coming together into the shadowy aspect of the scorpionic landscape, Scorpio. And this new moon eclipse is a beginning point, right? It's a new moon lunar eclipse that is opening for this eclipse window that will continue into the next eclipse. This particular eclipse cycle that we're entering in, where Tuesday partial solar eclipse will continue to build into the Tuesday, November 8th lunar eclipse. It's really about this scorpionic energy transmuting the shadow aspects, right? So the new moon beginning point is both a completion and I hope this is making sense, right? It's both a completion and a beginning. That's my point. Both a completion and a beginning. And what that means is we're letting go. We're letting go of the layers of untruth, of the experience of duality that have in any way concealed or blocked us or have limited us or have kept us from love and consciousness. And this is why Venus, which is moving through this scorpionic energy, along with the Sun moving through Scorpio during the month of November, is helping us. The Sun will illuminate. Venus will bring about more love through this shadowy sign of Scorpio. Scorpio always wants transformation. That is what Scorpio seeks. Transformation from the shadow into the light. So as we delve more and more into this eclipse window, this is what it's meant to bring about. It's meant to bring about from shadow to light. Now, some of what will happen, I'll be speaking more about this during our DNA activations call because I can go into it with more depth, but some of this will really be transmuting aspects of what we've been dealing with since the 2020 window when Pluto unified with Saturn, and that was when we had a full year of the whole COVID experience, which overall has been an experience to eliminate the shadow fear, the fear of death and separation from Source. Since 2020, we've been dealing with that. When Saturn and Pluto came into their peak, we are still at the completion of that 3-year window, you see? And Scorpio, this scorpionic eclipse cycle, wants us to transmute that and be complete with it. So what we're seeing is basically a synchronistic collapse and transmutation of all kinds of falsehoods, including fear, and all kinds of instability, including false governments, leaders, authorities, etc., and asking us to step into more courage, wisdom, truth, knowledge, and love through unifying. This is the message. So, this is what's going on during this eclipse cycle. And this clash between radical extremism will begin to go away. That is what Libra, the next cycle of eclipse, will start to initiate. So radical extremism will begin to go away after the completion of the next cycle. We're not quite done with that. But we will, the more we can eliminate that from within ourselves and come into harmony, the collective will come out of that radical extremism that we have been witnessing since 2020. And so this is what's sort of completing through these big eclipse windows. And one other aspect I want to mention astrologically is that we've also been dealing with for the past really 2 years is an extreme hard angle between the planet Saturn and the planet Uranus. Saturn could be symbolic of tough lessons, karma, hard lessons, versus vacation, just, maybe not wanting to work hard, just needing or wanting time off. I guess the extremes of Saturn. Just one way to explain that, but definitely karmic resolution, karmic healing, karmic completions, versus Uranus that is asking for quick change and transformation. Oftentimes Uranus reveals the impatient or tumultuous types of needs for stability and versus change. And it wants abrupt change, and at the same time, it's seeking stability, but it doesn't offer stability. It shows the instability. And this square between Saturn and Uranus is also at the same time pushing with the tumultuous energies between Saturn and Pluto. Pluto is always asking for us to make transformation. Pluto governs Scorpio, right? Pluto, power struggle, people have power struggles to come into their empowerment. Pluto, in this game of this astrological window, is asking us to reclaim our power, especially from false leaders and authorities, government structures, world religions who have essentially, big pharma, who have essentially attempted to usurp our power through shadowy forces, through shadow aspects, through secret, hidden coercion, karmic agenda. So this is these planets, Saturn, Uranus, Saturn, Pluto, all hanging out in and around this eclipse window between the 25th, the November 8th, peaking throughout the entire 3-year window from 2020 to 2022. And we're coming up out of this clash between this radical extremism of all of these dualistic energies, Saturn versus Uranus, Saturn versus Pluto, right? Tough karmic lessons, radical change, transformation, reclaiming our power, leadership, authority, autonomy, sovereignty, right? These are the lessons of these planetary astrological aspects that are culminating this year as they begin to invite us into a new year. of 2023. Now, I'm not going to be talking about 2023 yet because I think I've given you more than enough information right now, but it is going to require some significant courage and strength. Sorry, a lot of activity going on here. It is a peak day. So, yes, there is. Please stop that, please, honey. There's a lot going on, and I'm going to close this now because there is someone knocking on my door as I speak. I am in a significant window myself of 2022. It is the 22nd of October on this day. But I would like to re-invite you again, of course, to the DNA activations, because this is when we unpack this a little more. We energetically heal and transmute these issues. And of course, we evolve ourselves through the evolution of this. Sorry for my, so on the 1111 Master Stargate portal, I hope you will join me. I have been interrupted. This is the 6th time today I've tried to do that. I think that's so funny. I was interrupted 6 times trying to do this. I turned off the phone. I turned off everything, the computer, everything I had to, so that I wouldn't. And now somebody just knocked on my door. I just think that's so funny, right? That's a really great example of just the interruptions of Uranus in my everyday experiences. I'm on the road, I'm traveling, I'm in a hotel room. Checkout's in about another 15 minutes. That's probably why they're knocking on the door. So, okay. But please do join me. I love you guys so much. I'm sorry for the frenetic. I mean, you get to see it witnessing in my life too. It does happen. It's affecting us all. For me, I'm lucky. It's happening in most joyful, benevolent ways. I'm traveling. I'm with my family. I have a wedding tonight. We're getting along great. It's just such an incredible transformation in my life I've witnessed. You know, I could go into all of that, but we don't want to be challenged in ways that are unpleasant any longer. We want to be stepping into more of the greatness of the experiences, right? So I hope that's helpful. Anyway, I hope that helps shine some light. I'll unpack it some more in my next newsletter for you. But at least for now, hopefully that does reveal to you what's going on as we open into this eclipse cycle, which is already opening as of today, Saturday, October 22nd, and certainly will be peaking in and through the next window of this eclipse, right? So again, join us on the 11th of November for the 1111 Master Stargate portal. Tuesday, November 11th, we'll be activating our dormant DNA. Head over to LoriSpagna.com. Under the live events tab, you will see speed activations, dormant DNA activations, sacred key code and star code marking activations, as well as divine templates, all the light codes that we need as we evolve as a human species, as we evolve with Mother Earth, Gaia Sophia, as we awaken the luminous light that is coming in and through us, through our divinity. That is what we do on these calls. And we just understand how these energies, these eclipses, these portals and windows are assisting us to do so. We decide through choice of right action that we just no longer want to be at the effect. We want to be participants, active participants in our awakening journey so that we can be in harmony with all that is. And I am getting more knocks on the door. So it is time for me to wrap up now. So head over to LoriSpagna.com and please do join us for the next live events on 1111, the Master Stargate portal. I hope to see you there. 1111 is, Tuesday, November 11th. And again, you can find that link at LoriSpagna.com under the live events tab. Please register and join us. We'll get to do so much more of this. I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope to see you there, okay? And in the meantime, I'm sending you so much love. Okay, until then, farewell. Bye-bye.